wedding. And we got married back in 1996 at the Café Royal. And so I decided to keep it really nice and sort of straightforward. But we did the most amazing prawn cocktail.
Gordon Ramsay is a chef, restaurateur, television personality, and author based in the United Kingdom. Gordon Ramsay Restaurants, his global restaurant group created in 1997, has been awarded 16 Michelin stars in total. It presently has 7. Ramsay became one of the most well-known and prominent chefs in the United Kingdom after starring in the British television series Boiling Point in 1999. Ramsay's on-screen persona is marked by his candor, fierce temper, rigid demeanor, and frequent use of profanity. He blends his interests in television, cinema, hospitality, and food, and has promoted and hired a number of chefs who apprenticed under his tutelage. Queen Elizabeth II named Ramsay an Officer of the Order of the British Empire in the 2006 New Year Honors List for his services to the hospitality industry.
Sort of trying to kick a soccer ball around. I think, if anything, when I came out of Paris at, 23, getting my ass kicked in top flight kitchens across France.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Gordon James Ramsay, but is also known as Ramsay. He was born November 8, 1966 in Johnstone, Scotland, making him 55 at the time of this production. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. Ramsay was a football player and was selected to play under 14 football at the age of 12. He was selected to represent Warwickshire. His football career was marred by injuries, prompting him to later say, "Perhaps I was doomed in football." Ramsay had a trial with Rangers in mid-1984, the team he supported as a child. He suffered a significant knee injury when he smashed the cartilage during training. Ramsay asserted that he appeared in 2 first-team matches for Rangers. Ramsay played a handful of non-league matches as a trialist for Rangers, according to his memoirs, and was signed by the club at the age of 15. Alan Cairns, a photographer who photographed Ramsay while he was playing for Rangers in September 1985, stated that the photograph was not of the Rangers' first team, but of a side selected to play a testimonial match. According to a Rangers spokesman, Ramsay took part in that testimonial game as a witness. He continued to practice with us for a few months after that, but sustained an injury. Ramsay is a football aficionado and a Chelsea and Rangers FC supporter. As a baseball fan, he's a diehard Dodgers and Angels supporter. He does, however, believe that baseball games are frequently too long, joking that this results in spectators spending most of their time eating or sleeping, which could result in them being unhealthy. Ramsay married Montessori-trained schoolteacher Cayetana Elizabeth Hutchison in 1996. They split their time between Los Angeles and London, where they live with their 5 children, Megan, Holly, Jack, Tilly, and Oscar. Megan ran the 2017 London Marathon in remembrance of her mother, who miscarried 5 months into her pregnancy in June 2016 of a son they called Rocky. Until 2010, Ramsay's father-in-law, Chris Hutchison, was in charge of the restaurant empire's commercial operations. Hutchison was sentenced to 6 months in prison in June of 2017 for plotting to hack a computer system connected to the Ramsays' commercial interests. Between October 23, 2010 and March 31, 2011, Hutchison and his sons were suspected of accessing corporate systems about 2,000 times.
As a grassroots, let's start developing new ideas. Let's start reopening these restaurants with new, fresh ideas. And it was the same with the production arm. So for the first time ever, we put together a professional chef.
Gordon James Ramsay was born in Johnstone, Scotland. When he was 5, his family moved to England and he was raised in Stratford-upon-Avon. He's the second of 4 children. His family moved constantly when he was a child due to the aspirations and professional setbacks of his father. His father was a sometimes violent alcoholic and womanizer. At the age of 16, Ramsay moved out of his family's home and into an apartment of his own. As a teen, Ramsay was quite good at football/soccer, but his playing days were cut short by injury. By this time, Ramsay had already developed an interest in cooking. At 19, he enrolled in the hotel management program at North Oxfordshire Technical College. In the mid-1980s, Ramsay worked at Roxton House Hotel as a commis chef. From there, he went on to run the kitchen and 60-seat dining room at the Wickham Arms. He then moved to London, where he worked in a series of restaurants before landing a job working for the infamously temperamental Marco Pierre White at Harvey's. He worked at Harvey's for 2 years and 10 months before growing tired of White's rages and the bullying and violence. Ramsey decided to study French cuisine and went to work for Albert Roux at La Gavrache in Mayfair, where he met Jean-Claude Breton, now as maitre d'hotel at restaurant Gordon Ramsay. After working at La Gavrache for a year, Roux invited Ramsey to work with him as his number 2 at Hotel Diva, a ski resort in the French Alps. From there, the 23-year-old Ramsey moved to Paris to work with Guy Savoy and Joël Robuchon, both Michelin-starred chefs. He continued his training in France for 3 years. After a sabbatical for a year as a private chef on a yacht, Ramsey returned to London and was offered the head chef position under 3 Michelin-starred chef Pierre Kaufmann at La Tante Claire in Chelsea. Not long after, his old boss, Marco Pierre White, offered to give him the head chef job in exchange for a 10% share at the Rossmore, which Ramsey renamed Aubergine and won his first Michelin star 14 months later. In 1997, Aubergine received its second Michelin star. Ramsey left the partnership in the summer of 1998 over disagreements about the direction the company should go in. That same year, Ramsey opened his own restaurant called Restaurant Gordon Ramsay in London's Chelsea neighborhood. In 2001, the restaurant gained its 3rd Michelin star, making Ramsey the first Scotsman to achieve that feat. From there, his empire expanded rapidly. He opened and closed a number of celebrated restaurants, launched his US-based TV show Hell's Kitchen, became a feature on the Food Network, and conquered the world one dinner plate at a time. He has restaurants in Dubai, Tokyo, London, New York City, Ireland, Canada, and until 2015 in West Hollywood, at the celebrated London Hotel on Sunset Boulevard.
Before dinner.
Yeah.
And I like that kind of sort of, chaoticness, because it's all about that end product, what you're going to put on the plate, how long it's going to be, and with 3 daughters, man, they're on it.
Gordon Ramsay's salary per episode is $225,000. He typically earns around $45 million per year from his media and restaurant empire. Between June 2017 and June 2018, Gordon earned north of $60 million. Between June 2018 and June 2019, he earned $65 million. In mid-July 2019, Gordon sold a 50% stake in his North American holding company to Lion Capital. Lion plans to spend $100 million launching 100 Gordon Ramsay restaurants in the United States between 2020 and 2025. Gordon's net worth is estimated to be $220 million. In 2012, Ramsay purchased a $6.75 million home in Bel Air, Los Angeles. The 7,413-square-foot mansion has 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a swimming pool, and of course a state-of-the-art luxury kitchen. He also owns a home in London, which was purchased in 2002 for $3.5 million, and at least 3 homes purchased for a combined total of $13 million in the English seaside town of Fowey. His most impressive property in Fowey was purchased in 2015 for around $6 million. He then spent a great deal of money on renovations, including a large pool with a transparent wall that looks out to the ocean. The transparent wall alone cost around $100,000. Cars you'll find in Gordon's garage include a Ferrari 355 GTS, a Ferrari 500 Maranello, an Aston Martin DB7 V12 Vantage, a Ferrari F430 GTB, a Porsche 918 Spyder, a Land Rover Defender 110 SVX Spectre JB24, a LaFerrari Aperta, a BAC Mono, a Ferrari F12 TDF, a McLaren Senna, a Ford GT, a Ferrari SP2 Monza.